Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, March 15th edition of the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin. I'm joined by Mr. Marcel Dorff for the very first 4 p.m. Eastern Time edition, 9 p.m. your time, Marcel, over there in Holland, man. Thanks for doing it with me. How's it going?
Yeah, doing well, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. It was my first day at BJ Penn, the Monday to Friday thing. So it is a different day for me. That's obviously why I did change here. But I'm doing good, just new day at work. I mean, it's always an adventure. So I'm doing great, man. We got a lot to talk with today, Marcel. Obviously, we had pretty crazy card the other night, UFC Vegas 21. We also have another card this weekend, UFC Vegas 22, and you're going to be joining me tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Eastern, to break down that card. So we'll talk about that card tomorrow. Just one update: the fight between Johnny Eduardo and Anthony Burchak has been scratched. You know what's shitty about that, Marcel? I literally got up early today and I studied the fights before I started my shift. I've been up for a while, and that was like one of the first fights I did. I couldn't fall back asleep, so I was like, might as well just do tape study. And I studied Eduardo and Burchak, and it was such a hard fight to pick, to be honest with you. I was like, man, both these guys have so many issues with their games, but my lean was towards Eduardo, actually. Anyways, it doesn't matter at this point. Fight got canceled. Let's talk about UFC Vegas 21, Marcel. Let's get into this card. So, I mean, it was a pretty crazy card, man. We had some crazy upsets. 2 no contests, Marcel. First time that's ever happened in the UFC, which is pretty nuts. I don't know what to say, man. Let's start with the main event. Let's start with Leon Edwards and the no contest with the eye poke. He was warned before the eye poke in the first round.
Yeah.
And the second round we saw they called it an accidental foul and it was a no contest. What's your thoughts? Do you think it should have been a DQ instead? Because he was warned in the first round. What do you think?
It's so hard, man. I don't think anybody on purpose poke somebody in the eye, although maybe some do, but most won't do, And I mean, those gloves are a problem. I said for a long time. I don't know. Have you ever had UFC gloves on?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, me too. It sucks, It's like you get this, and you really have to do this to hold a fist.
Yep.
And when you are at a certain moment in the fight, and you don't have that pressure in your fist, you have it immediately like this, So you have to, for 15 minutes, to do this the whole damn time.
Yep.
That sucks,
Yep.
So I mean, they have to do something with the gloves, man. Make it more, make it easier to close your hand. They got to do something with it,
So I'm looking at, I think these are the gloves that a lot of people talk about here, Marcel. Let me pull a picture up. The Shuto gloves, I believe. People say that these are the ones that are curved. You see it's curved downwards?
Yeah.
That's what people want the UFC to do. But for whatever reason, Dana White, they keep saying, we've looked into this, the last 20 years almost. Doesn't seem like there are any changes. I don't know what's going to change differently. I mean, look at some of these gloves, right? This is curved a little bit downwards too. So we'll say curved.
The thing is just the part which is here is very hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to put that down, and you can make this a little bit softer, I think.
Someone on Reddit, they compared the Pride glove to the UFC glove. There's such a massive difference too. There's got to be a better glove, right? There has to be.
For sure.
I don't know if you have that show over there called Shark Tank. Do you have that over there? You have Dragon's Den or whatever? Did they ever show that?
I've seen it before.
I feel like someone's got to go on there and be like, I've invented this new MMA glove. We're going to make millions off. We're going to sell to Dana White for $1 million. But we'll see. I mean, listen, it's an unfortunate way for the fight to end. I just think it's kind of weird, man, how 1 week something is a foul that's accidental. And we might as well talk about the Eryk Anders fight right now, too. Let's just talk about them both at once. Herb Dean was the referee for both fights. Last week, they called it an illegal knee in the 4th round. The round has nothing to do with it, by the way. The round would only have – the only thing that has to do with it is if it goes to the scorecards or not.
Yeah.
So when Mark Reitner said on the broadcast, it's so bad when they say stuff like that's wrong on the broadcast, Marcel. And they keep getting the rules wrong lately. It's really annoying, actually.
Yeah, why doesn't the broadcast
How do the broadcasters not know the
rules?
I mean, I think John and Brendan probably do, but the commentators clearly do not.
Yeah.
And I understand that there are some issues and different commissions have different rules, but this is not a different rule.
No.
If the fight goes to if it's a 3-round fight, it goes to the 3rd round, you go to the scorecards. And if it goes to the 4th or 5th round in a championship fight, you go to the scorecards. If there's a foul that's accidental, if it's accidental, that's why it wasn't last week. They didn't go to the scorecards because they called it intentional. Whereas this week, we talk about the Eryk Anders fight, Darren Stewart. Eryk Anders had that fight in the bag. He had that fight in the bag. That was even stupider than what Peter Yan did, to be completely honest with you. But why is that not a DQ though? You know, and I had Eryk Anders in my DraftKings pool, so I was hoping for a win here. But in the matter of fairness, Marcel, what's the difference? Tell me.
It's actually very easy, man. I mean, with Pyorian against Aljamain Sterling, it was Mark Smith who was the referee, and he immediately called intentional foul when it happened. And at that moment, you can't go back. You know, you have already called an intentional foul. So there are three options. One option is you go ahead with the fight. You can continue, and you just go ahead. Second option is you go ahead and you deduct points. A third option is a DQ because you called an intentional foul. And Herb Dean was smart here. Herb Dean probably learned from Mark Smith last week, and he was like, he was time. That's the only thing he said, time. Yep. He didn't say intentional foul. He didn't say anything. So he had more options.
Yeah,
you know?
No, I agree with that. That's what I said last week too. I agree with that. I just think it's kind of dumb that we're getting inconsistencies, man. Like, I don't like that. You know, it's 1 week is one rule, the next week's the other. Like, what are these?
But then I'm like, Cormier and Bisping are like, why is this a DQ and why is it? I'm like, do you guys pay attention or whatever? Because I immediately said, I think to Twitter, I tweeted out like, the comparison to last week is that the referee called it an intentional foul back then, and Dean didn't call it an intentional foul, so he could make it a no contest. If he immediately say intentional foul, he could have made it a DQ as well.
Yeah, no, it's true. I just I'm not sure how it was unintentional though. Like, it looked pretty intentional to me.
I understand. Yeah, for sure. It's an interpretation of the referee in this one, probably. So,
and some people were saying like his hand was on the other side of the body, like by the cage, and it was hard to see. I'm not sure if I'm really buying that. I mean, if the guy was down, he's down. That's why we have instant replay too, by the way, which they never use, Marcel. They never go to the instant replay, even though they have it. Straight wager, what's going on, man? He says Trevor Whitman sitting on a glove and design, but UFC won't purchase it from him. I've heard about that. That guy's great. I mean, he's one of the smartest guys in the game.
I haven't seen it, but for real, he should maybe publicize it and show it to the people and
Trevor Whitman
put more
glove.
pressure.
Typing it right now. As spoiler, a look at the designed gloves. Let me see what they look like. Oh, they got taken down. Oh, wait, let me see here. Okay, someone posted on Reddit apparently and they took it down. So let me see if there's another picture. Is this what they look like? Okay, well, I mean, I don't know if I think this is it. Let me take a look here. Look at these gloves, Marcel. Where is it? Trevor Whitman gloves. I think that's it. Onyx Sports, I believe that's it.
Okay, yeah, Onyx.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like.
Okay.
You can see
why
that
not?
like this, right? It's not. It's like forcing a fist closed, not to keep it open, right?
Yeah, and they may be saying, man, it's more difficult to grapple. You know what I mean? If it's stiff like this, but that's like why I said, try to make it more loose here. You know, that you still can do this, but you can easily do this as well. You know what I mean?
Yep. Data probably took it down. Yeah, just like all those pictures of the Venom things that are floating around. Yeah, I know, right? So listen, it's really crappy that the fight ended that way. You know, 2 fights. First time in UFC history, a 2 no contest, Marcel. Let's talk about Leon Edwards and Belal. What do they do here? Because you got Leon saying, you know, I should move on and fight for the title now. Belal's out there calling him pathetic and saying, you know, he's basically being a coward and saying, like, I won 10-9 in the first round, therefore I won the fight. And Belal's like, dude, it was 5 rounds. We just got started. Listen, it's not his fault he got poked. I get that, but he's going to be out for a while, I'm guessing. Like, I don't think he's going to fight anytime soon. Like, it was a nasty injury. He'll probably be out a couple months. I know they seem to want to do this Leon Colby Covington fight. It seems like that's the talk. Anything Brett Okamoto tweets, guys, that's what the UFC's thinking, by the way. They love telling Brett, and then he tweets it, and then the fans respond. You see, Marcel, they use it. They use the ESPN guys. It's all part of the same group, right? So, I don't know what to say. I mean, I think that they could run it back, but Leon took no damage in this fight. Besides that one, I think, elbow in the clinch, he took no damage. I think he should get back in there like as soon as possible. Maybe like next month or the month after. Like, I don't see he took no damage, Marcel, in the fight. He needs to get back in there soon.
Listen, man, he wanted to fight Gilbert Burns so badly. Fight Gilbert Burns. Burns said he can be back anytime soon, so why not?
Yep.
Definitely not a title fight against Kamaru Usman. He needs one more win. I mean, the Belal fight. I'm for Belal. I don't think Leon will wait for him because this was already a short notice fight. I don't think Leon is like, I need to definitely fight this dude. But I hope for Belal he gets another opportunity against a highly ranked guy. I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but I don't think they will book a rematch. I think because Muhammad has to recover.
Absolutely, and there was a nasty injury, right? Like, and it was clear as soon as it happened, the fight was going to be stopped. By the way, I'm not even sure why there was any sort of confusion there with Herb Dean. Then he started yelling at Joe Martinez. He's like, "Go away" or something. You see that?
I saw that.
Joe was like the best too. I was surprised by that, eh?
I was first like, who? I thought it was the doctor, and then I
saw
it was
Joe
Martinez.
And I saw it was Joe, and I was like, really? Joe's the man. So it is what it is. You know, Herb's been really taking it from every corner of the world. It seems like lately. Everyone just doesn't like Herb Dean. I mean, what are your thoughts on him as a referee now? Because it seems like he's been in some really sketchy situations. I'm not saying it's necessarily like it's not his fault that guys are poking each other in the eye or kneeing them on the head. He seems to like that's bad luck, but a lot of his stoppages, Marcel, are very sketchy lately. Like the Kai Kara France stoppage. Don't get me wrong; it was a good stoppage that it was stopped, but it was actually an extra 5 seconds after he knocked him down. Then it was stopped. Like this is dangerous, man. Someone's gonna get hurt under this guy's watch.
I don't dislike Herb Dean at all, but I don't think he's the top referee anymore that he was like 5 years ago or something. He has some weird stoppages sometimes, you know. So
yeah, absolutely. I think like maybe 10 years ago he was even like probably the best guy.
Yeah, I agree.
But now we got guys like Mike Beltran, who's doing UFC fights again in Nevada, which is amazing. The guy with the huge beard, I love him. You know,
one of the best. He's my favorite. He's my favorite.
He's a great ref, and he takes control of the fight. If you listen to him, he takes. That's what you want for a ref. You don't want a wishy-washy ref. You know, like
I agree, man.
Yeah, Marcel, your camera's gone. I don't know what you pressed there. I just hear you.
I know, man. I'm fixing my light here.
Okay, sorry guys. All right. No worries. Then as far as the Eryk Anders and Darren Stewart fight goes, it sure looked like Anders had that one in the bag. Like he looked amazing, by the way. He looked huge, by the way. He looked massive. Training with Eddie Cha, training with Henry Cejudo and Erica Berusin. Do they run this one back, or do they go separate ways with this one?
I see them running this one back. Why not?
You think so? Yeah, because I mean, Darren, he did get hurt. He got hurt because he took that knee to the head. But you know, I think
he was already hurt.
Yes, he was. You know what? That fight could have been stopped, I believe, Marcel. I think it could have been stopped. I don't think it would have been the worst stoppage. Obviously, it didn't, and kept moving on. Now, let's talk about the co-main event, which is a fight I did predict correctly here. I picked Ryan Spann by first round knockout, picked it to a T, Marcel. I love Misha, but he just has no chin. He can't take a punch. I love the guy. He's amazing on the ground. I got to be honest, man. I hate saying this because he's a fellow Canadian. I think he could be cut, to be honest with you, because if you look at his record, he's lost 4 of his last 6 fights by knockout. Like when he wins, it's in impressive fashion. It's by submission usually. But Marcel, when he loses, Misha, he's getting brutally knocked out. So I'm not sure what your thoughts on him are, but I love the guy. I'm not saying he should cut him, but I'm just saying, man. I mean, you know, look at his record. It's 2-4 with 4 knockout losses. That's a lot of knockouts. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, man. I honestly expected Cirkunov to win the fight. I know you didn't. I did. I thought he could submit him. But I knew if Spann was going to win, he probably would put him away in the first round.
Yeah.
So it was Spann first round, TKO, or Cirkunov via submission. What I think about it, I don't know, man. I remember when he was like undefeated in the UFC and they had problems with renewing his contract, and then he came back. He fought Krylov, I think, at that moment. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see him making a run for any title or whatever, you know. But he's still dangerous. You saw what he did to Jimmy Crute, the Peruvian necktie. He's a guy that probably will be between the top 10, top 20 if he stays in the UFC, but I don't see him making a run into the top 10. It was between top 10 and top 20 there.
Yeah, and again, I wouldn't cut him. I'm just saying I think they might. I really do. Like, and I love the guy. I don't want to see him cut because obviously I think he is a UFC caliber fighter. But you know, Marcel, when you get knocked out almost every fight, I mean, it's very hard to keep the guy in the roster. I think we saw it with JDS and those guys too. Although they were making a lot more money, that's the difference, of course. Let's get this comment from Straight Wager. He says, "Not that it matters, but I think people are really overlooking the fact Leon would have come on stronger Saturday as well. He hadn't fought wherever the first would be a stronger. I agree too. I mean, I thought he looked good actually for the first round. When you watch Leon fight, Marcel, to me, he does look like a guy who should be fighting for a belt. I do think he's a championship caliber fighter. I just don't know if he gets it off in no contests. So I think he's great. I'm a big fan of him. I was hoping for a great. Actually, it was actually a decent fight for as long as it lasted, and then that happened. Just such a crappy way to end the night. Let's talk about another crazy knockout, man. I didn't see this one coming, I'll be honest. You know, it's crazy because I thought Gavin Tucker would be finished his last couple fights. He starts dominating everyone, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to take Gavin Tucker. He looks like he's turned the corner, and then he turned into a pumpkin and get KO'd here in 22 seconds by Dan Ige, who is probably the most underrated featherweight in the UFC. He is a top 10 guy. He doesn't get a ton of respect from people for whatever reason. The guy's a fucking savage. He finishes people on the feet, on the ground. I love Dan Ige. I made a mistake picking against him this fight. I pick him every fight, and then I finally went against him, Marcel. I love this guy. What do you think? You call it Korean Zombie. Would you like that matchup too?
Yeah, for sure. Why not? I mean, he deserves a step up in competition again. I mean, his fight against Calvin Kattar, yeah, he lost that one. But all of his other fights in UFC have been good. You know, only his debut against Julio Arce, he lost that one. I think that's also a problem with some fighters when they lose their debut. They have a lot of hype already gone, you know. And it's the same with Hakeem Dawodu when he lost to the Scottish guy. What's his name again?
Danny Henry, the hatchet.
Danny Henry, the hatchet. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the same problem. But I think Ige is very good. Yeah, I like to see him against Chan Sung Jung, against the Korean Zombie. Tucker, I always have the same problem as you with Tucker, man. If I pick him, he loses, and if I don't pick him, he wins. This time I had it right. I had Ige. So, yeah, but for example, I was sure Billy Quarantillo would beat him, but
me too.
Tucker did it, or Tucker beat him.
Yep.
I was sure that Tucker was going to win against Rick Glenn back then, and I was so wrong on that one.
Oh,
So,
man.
yeah.
I was watching that fight again last week. I was talking about it, man. That is one of the most brutal beatings you'll ever see. Like, I almost felt like someone was going to die in the ring that night. Like,
that should have been stopped, man. That ref was horrible.
Horrible stop. Like that, I've never seen the ref again. I hope he retired. He's a bum. Like, he's a bad ref.
Yeah, you can do something about it. He was from Canada.
Right? I know. You know, I searched it up because it was 4 years ago, and Gavin was saying, like, you know, it's not his fault. I signed up for this. Not the ref's fault, but he was saying that from the hospital room, because they send. I remember that fight because Aaron Bronstetter was a good friend of mine. He was at the fight, and he told me he was backstage. He said Gavin Tucker's. I remember he told me this. He said his wife was in tears because her husband was so beat up. Like, they thought he might die that night, Marcel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hate saying this, guys, but we probably will see a death in MMA one day. We probably, in the UFC, I should say. We probably will, you know? I'm not saying maybe in the ring that night, but someone might go to the hospital and die. And that's the kind of fight, Marcel, that beating that, you know, if that happens again, you could see something even worse. But yeah, it's amazing. Tucker, you know, he went on that run, but you know, the chin finally cracked here. Just a great straight right, man. Right down the pipe, bang, right down the pipe. First punch thrown, eh? Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was like, the commentators were like, "What's that? 3 seconds?" And they completely missed.
Oh my god, they couldn't even read the clock. It clrearly said 22 or 20 seconds. Like, I don't know why they kept saying it's. Boy, it's like amateur hour sometimes. I don't get it. Like, these guys I love these guys. DC, Bisping, like, they're great. It just doesn't make sense.
You know, I'm a big fan of Brandon Fitzgerald, you know, but I love it what he said, Gastelum.
You know what, though? He actually really did look like him in this fight. Like, he really looked like a mini Gastelum in this fight. Hack press. Let's follow this fight. You know, this is a crazy one because remember last week I said Davey Grant's a beast. I told you guys, I was like, man, watching him back, he's so good. And of course I picked against him still. I'm so dumb. I knew he was good because I was watching his fights again. He's a dog. It's just that I couldn't trust his chin. He got dropped in the first round, Marcel, but survived. He survived just like he did against Martin Day. And that combination and that knockout was so sick. Jonathan Martinez, I think it's pretty fair to say this guy is obviously a little bit overrated. He doesn't have a complete game. He's just a striker. He's got nothing else really, Marcel. And he doesn't have good cardio either. Doesn't have good. I'm really angry at myself because it was one of those fights where I was like, I see the dog a path here, and I just couldn't do it. So it is what it is. But he gets KO'd, and man, that's back-to-back crazy knockouts for Davey Grant. Age 35, he's reinventing himself as this like knockout artist. And I love, you know what? One good piece of the commentary was when they were talking about getting the feeling of knocking someone out. When DC and Bisping said, like, once you get that feeling of knocking a man out, like, you just want it again. And I loved when they said that because it's true. And to be honest with you, Marcel, that's what I thought in this fight. I was like, maybe Grant could hold him, but I thought if he stood and banged, he was going to get KO'd. He almost did and came back and won. It was an incredible win. Davey Grant, man, just an underrated guy. He's won 3 straight fights now. Guy who's battled a lot of injuries and stuff. He's been in the UFC since 2013, Marcel. He only has 7 fights in the UFC. He's 4-3. But what a win, man. What do you think of this guy?
Yeah, line him up against Song Yadong for his next fight, I think. I think that's a good fight. It's good for Grant to see where he stands in the division. Song Yadong has been for a long time in top 15. He's now just out. So I think that would be a great fight. I was surprised, not going to lie. I was pretty sure that Martinez would win this fight. So, somebody asked me before the card, what's your lock?
Yeah.
It was always a hard question.
Oh, you're the one who jinxed it then. You jinxed it. Don't ever say that word lock. Tell your friend to stop saying that word. That's a jinxy word. There's no locks in MMA, guys. Are you kidding me? You guys are joking if you say that. There's no locks in the sport. There's no lock, Marcel. Come on. You watch the sport as much as I do. Every week we see crazy upsets. There's no lock. There's no lock. I'm telling you. Don't use that word anymore because you guys jinxed the bet. That's what happened here. Rather than dangerous, Davey should go with a dangerous dog because, dude, this is great, man. I love this guy. Like, he is a dog. What do you think about Martinez, though? Like, who do you match him up with? I guess you could do your dog, too, if you wanted, but what do you think, though? Like, is there anyone that kind of stands out for you, or?
Oh, man, I'd have
to look at it, too, yeah. Maybe
do Alejandro Perez.
Sure, you could do that. I was thinking that Rojo guy, man. That guy's a fucking dog, too, man. He's a beast. He's going to drop down, I think, in his next fight. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. We got to talk about this fight, though. Man, come on. I had Cape. That's a bad beat, guys. This is a bad decision. Go to MMA. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to show you guys what every media member scored this fight. I'm not on this list right now, but I would have scored it for Cape too. Listen, it was a close fight. Close but clear, Marcel. Everyone thought Cape won this fight. He did more damage. He was more aggressive. Look at this. And this fucking moron, Chris Lee, once again. This guy is the worst judge in MMA. He's garbage. Such a bad judge. He's just a terrible judge. Like, look at all the dissensions. Like, last year he had John Allen defeating Roman Dolidze. That is a garbage decision. How about this one? Paul Feller defeating Rafael dos Anjos. He's a bad judge, man, and just a garbage judge. Remember, Paul was in that fight. He was like, I didn't win that fight.
He was like looking when he got the scorecard like, what's this?
Did you score for Cape? This is what I had. I had Dave Hagen's scorecard. I had 10-9 and then 10-9 for Cape in the second and third round. What did that you had? I'm guessing you did?
I had 30-27 for Nicolau. No, I'm just kidding. I had 29-28, but I have to say, I think you could see it for Nicolau as well. I had Cape as well, 29-28, but I don't think it was as bad of a decision as everybody talks about. I think you could see it for Nicolau as well, to be honest, man. I definitely had Cape as well, but I wasn't sure that he was going to get the fight. The thing with Cape is the same thing what he had in the Pantoja fight. He is waiting. He's too tentative with what he does.
I saw someone say he's like the Tyron Woodley of flyweight. He just holds his hands back, Marcel. And you saw in the second round, I was like, oh my God, this is the guy from Rising. He looks amazing. Yeah. He looks incredible. AJ, as someone who didn't bet Cape, Nikolai scored. Thank you, AJ. That's exactly what I have. Competitive but clear. Just said the same thing, AJ. There are fights like that, competitive, close fights that are also clear for one guy. And I think, quite frankly, the Aldridge fight kind of feels the same way to me. But this one hurt because I did have a bet on Cape. Listen, I'm not scoring the fight, trying to make decisions, so it doesn't matter. That didn't reflect it there, but
that's the thing.
This one hurts, man. This one hurts.
That's the thing. But most people are upset about it because they have a bet on Cape.
Yeah, but dude, I watch Marcel. You guys listen to my podcast every week. You know that I score against my bets every week too. Yeah. This particular one was definitely his fight, man. But at the same time, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. It's over now. You know what I mean? It's over.
No, but I want to make a comparison with the JJ Aldridge against Courtney Casey fight because that was as bad as this one. I
agree with this guy's comment.
I didn't hear too much about that one than about the Cape against Nicolau one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. I think probably because it was on the prelims and more people didn't watch it.
Likely.
Maybe that's what it was because this was main card. Yeah. It is what it is. But you guys listen to me every week. Like I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can. It is what it is. I mean, I lost my bet. I'm not going to cry about it now. I just think it was a bad decision. I just don't like Chris Lee as a judge. I don't think he's a good judge. But
who does think he's a good judge?
I don't know.
He's in the Chris Toyoni class.
The thing that bothers me about the judging is like, I know, right? They don't face any sanctions ever. Like if I fuck up at work, my boss talks to me. He's like, "You fucked up." But these guys never get it to talk. You know what I mean? Like they can ruin someone's life and it's like whatever, and they back next week. They're ruining people's lives. That is going to cost Cape whatever his win bonus is, 20, 30, 40,000. I don't know what it is.
And he's 0-2 now in the UFC.
And now he's 0-2. And Mike, I don't think they'll cut him. I mean, I hope.
They won't cut him. Nah. They
But you know what, Marcel? Like, I picked him in both his fights. He's frustrating, though. Even though I thought he won this fight, guys, it's still frustrating. But yeah, the third round, listen, Nicolau did well for the first couple minutes, but listen, none of those shots even hurt Kate. He walked through every shot he threw, and he landed that nasty knee, like Stewart just says. It is what it is. Let's move on to the next fight, which I guess it was the Eryk Anders fight, which we talked about already. But yeah, I thought Anders looked good, Marcel. I really did, man. You know, I thought he looked good in this fight. And then the next fight, Yoder and Hill. I mean, this fight, why did they need to do this fight? Like, I don't understand why they were so desperate to do this rematch. Angela Hill's definitely a top 15 girl. Ashley Yoder's not even close to the top 15. Do you think they cut Yoder? Because to me, she looked really bad in this fight. I mean, I don't want to say anything negative because she is in the UFC and she does have some wins. But to me, Marcel, she really isn't a UFC caliber fighter. 3-6 record in the UFC. That doesn't cut it, man.
I agree, but she's so nice, man. I saw an interview with her.
I know, she's awesome.
So
I like her.
So I hope she stays, you know. But
they'll probably keep her around.
Record.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I agree with Marcel. I think they'll keep her around because Sean Shelby likes her. She always takes fights. Like, she's fighting tough girls. You look at her record, Marcel, like, it's not great, you know. And I just think, like, watching this fight, like, her strikes came so slow. Like, it was the slowest strikes I've ever seen thrown. You know what's sad, though, is Angela got taken down and she was getting destroyed, Yoder, with those knees in the third round, and then she got taken down. How did that happen? You know, Angela Hill's a good fighter, but got some problems in her game. Go ahead.
Because Angela Hill isn't a good ground fighter. It's very simple. That's why I don't see. Listen, man, Angela Hill isn't a bad fighter, but she gets way more hype than she can back up in her fights, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And she's definitely better than Yoder. I still think the odds were a little bit off with minus 375 or whatever I saw. It was even minus 450 about but I mean, she was clearly the favorite, and I think she showed why she was the favorite. You know?
I agree. And Trey, just a boxing judge in Spann. I heard about that. No idea why MMA doesn't do the same. I don't know. Guess it's got to be more agreed. Maybe it's because in boxing they have 12 rounds to judge. You can screw it up a lot more than 5 rounds or 3. I guess I don't know.
I also want to say, man, some people are like, we have to have more judges in MMA to score a fight. Please not. I don't know if you look at Glory, for example, they have sometimes 5 judges, and you got 4 judges have for one fighter and 1 for the other, and then it's a split decision.
That's a split decision. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean,
weird.
We just need capable people to score. That's what we need. We don't need more people.
I agree with Marcel too. That's a great point, Marcel. You know, everyone's always complaining about the scoring. 10-9 doesn't work and the rules need to be changed. I think it does work because I think the majority of people can score fights correctly for the winner. There are some fights that are just super close and go either way. I get that. But to me, it's like the problem is the people doing the judging. Chris Lee and this Brian Minner guy. And it is what it is. Let's see what he says here. Kevin. Hey, Kevin. That was a good example of how a fighter having a likable personality needs to increase. That's true too. I agree with that. Very true. You got to watch that. I mean, the hype and popularity, that's something that definitely affects the lines. Wow. Let's talk about this one. Wow. Charles Jourdain and Marcelo Rojo. What a fight, man. Amazing fight. Rojo, I mean, I thought it was tied. I think the judges had it 1919, which is what I had actually. But some people had it 2018 for Rojo. And Jourdain came back in the third round and won with 29 seconds left. Of course, I took the under, but that didn't hit. That's okay. It was a late finish, man. He needed the finish, and I loved it. I love seeing that guy go for it. Like, he went for it late and got the stoppage here, Marcel. Great fight. Love both guys. I think these guys should have got a bonus too, man. I think it's pretty nasty that Rojo didn't get something for that performance too. What do you think? And Jourdain.
Dude, Dana White should be hit by a broom by not giving this a fight of the night.
How did they not win fight of the night? You see the guy's face? I'm going to show you guys a picture. Go ahead.
I mean, they're like, I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously, you have like 2 no contests on your card, which means you have 2 times you keep your win bonus in your pocket. On February 27, the Jair Rosenstruck against Gunn fight, 3 bonuses. So you kept 1 bonus in your pocket.
Yeah.
So you can give 2 extra bonuses of a fight of the night. I mean, I tweeted that out as well. It doesn't make sense.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, and Dana White goes and brags about, you know, spending $1 million on these horrible bets and stuff. Like,
Ben Askren,
let me show you some pictures here. Look at this dude's face. I mean, this guy, and he was actually you know what? I'm going to show you something else. 1 sec. Yeah, I mean, it could have. I thought the Hackparas fight was really good too, right? Like, they were both great fights.
I agree. Yeah.
Actually, my tweet was on the TV. Someone messaged me. They're like, "Dude, I agree. It was such a great fight. It was awesome." Here, let's take a look at Marcelo here. I mean, and this guy's a dog. I love this dude, by the way. He's awesome, eh? Great fighter, Marcel. This Combachi promotion, man, they have some awesome fighters there, guys. Like, it's, everyone thinks, oh, the UFC's got the only good fighter. There are fighters all over the world that are amazing, Let me see. I can pull this up here. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that poor guy. I can't remember what he says here. I think he says, I swear to you, I'll drop everything. It only hurts my family goes through these moments. Thank you for the opportunity, UFC. Connect me. The second no longer saw blood red through. I don't know what he's saying. I think the translation's a little bad, but look at his face. Look at this guy's face, and look at this tweet. No fight of the night, dude. That's heartbreaking for you to watch, honestly. Like,
and it was a short notice fight he took as well, by the way.
Up a weight class, by the way, too. He's actually 135er normally. He fought John Castaneda and these guys in Combachi. I like this guy. I like Jourdain too. It was a great fight. Yeah. Jourdain decided it's go time. Round 3 went all in for that finish. What a fight! I agree, AJ. It was what a hell of a fight. And so was the fight before it? Hack Parast talk about that first quickly. Hack Parast Garcia. Garcia's another guy, another Combachi guy, Marcel. What a dog. He's walking forward, taking shots off the chin, didn't care. I think this guy, if he had a full camp, would have made it even more it was pretty competitive, to be honest with you. Hack Parast won. I think he won the second and third round, but I would give the Garcia the first round. I was impressed on short notice, but Hack Parast looked good too. What do you think?
I agree, man. He did great, Garcia, for a guy who took this fight on like 4 or 5 days' notice. I mean, that's great. And Hack Parast is one of the biggest talents in the division. I think he's still very young. So very, very well done by Garcia. I look forward to see him in his next fight. Hack Parast did what he had to do. He had to win this fight. So good on him as well. It was a fun fight to watch, I think. It was after the Jourdain against Rojo fight was my favorite fight of the card. So, yeah.
Great fights. I agree. And look, Jose says the schedule may work better for me. Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern now. AJ says Marcel's got a great point about the 3 bonuses. Why not carry one? What happens to that bonus? What the sad thing is? That money's already earmarked, right? Like, they already know every card they're giving out $200,000, right, for bonuses. Yeah. So where's this $50K go? Like, it kind of bothers me, man. It's like it feels like they're taking it out of the fighters' pockets. That card, fair enough. That was a bad card. If they didn't want to give another bonus, fair enough. But why not the next week or this week? Last week had some great fights too that missed out. But even this week, like, Ronnie Yaya could have got a bonus.
Example.
Right? And let's talk about his fight. He's the only guy I think they got a finish. They didn't get a bonus. And he looked incredible. I mean, he looked amazing. He's so underrated, right, Ronnie? Like, he beats everyone at the bottom, but then he loses the top 15 guys, right? Mm-hmm. But he beats everyone below that level, Marcel. He destroys them. This fight was not close at all. Took Ray down, tapped him out. Ray Rodriguez seems like a decent guy. John interviewed him. He seemed like a really cool dude. He's probably going to get cut too. What do you think? 0-2 now in the UFC.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I don't hope so, but he took that short notice fight against Keller and he got tapped in 35 seconds. And and now against Ronnie Yaya. I mean, you can lose to Yaya. He's good. His jiu-jitsu is great. Black belt, high level black belt, long time vet. He's the kind of guy you don't want to fight if you have to fight for your contract in the UFC.
Yeah.
So it was just a Yaya-esque performance, and perfect example of a Yaya fight when it went his way. So yeah.
It really was. And here's a great question to you. Kevin says managers should push for finish bonuses in contract. Arbitrate. I agree. I know Ryan Bader has one in his contract in Bellator, I believe. He got a finish. I remember he talked about that when he signed. He's like, I got a finishing bonus. I think everyone in the UFC should get, I've said this for years, any finish should be an extra $10,000. And there's other promotions that do that. I think ACA does it. Don't they give out $5,000 or something? Why can't the UFC? And the dumbest reason I've heard is, oh, that's encouraging violence. I'm like, are you guys kidding me? Do you know what this is about? That's what I've heard, Marcel. I literally have heard
Who said that?
I don't want to say it because he's a great guy, and I don't want to say it. I don't want to say who said it. He's a great guy.
Tell me after the show.
I can tell you after the show. It wasn't Cole. I'll say that. Though. It was not Cole. You don't have to chirp him for it. Jose says, do you know this guy, Talek Zhinkabov? Don't know him. Do you know him? That Kyrgyzstan fighter? You know him?
No, I'm sorry.
I'll have to look into him. Sorry, man. I don't know who he is either. Maybe Marcel could search him up. But now, Aldrich Casey. Here's another. I picked Aldrich, right? I thought she lost. So, that's me. I guess it evens out in the end. But, I thought she lost this fight. I thought Casey won. It was a close fight. But again, close but clear. I think Casey did way more damage. And that's the name of the game here. It's not getting a takedown and holding top control. Even her coaches, actually, because they follow me because she's an elevation girl. Sean and Peter and those guys, they messaged me and they were like, "Come on, man! She obviously won. She held her down for like 5 seconds, dude. They know she lost the fight. Come on, Marcel. That was a bad. You know what? That might have been arguably worse than the other fight. What do you think?
I think it was worse than the other fight because we're pretty sure that was worse than the other fight. But people only talked about Manal Cap against Nicolau for like you said, probably because it was on the main card. But I think because Manal Cape has I still don't know if I say Cap Cape or Cape. I have no idea. But it's I think because he has more hype than this fight, and. I thought it was a bad decision, but hey, I mean, what can you do, right? Who were the judges? Do you have it in front of you?
Let's pull it up here. I'm not sure.
Is Chris Lee again there?
Probably. No, it's Sal Diamant. No, Sal actually scored it for Casey. Let's pull it up here.
All right.
And I get it, guys. I mean, listen, MMA, like it's hard to score sometimes. I get it, but like when most people agree that one fighter won, like you see here, only Drake had it for Alders. I said that tweet. I was like, Drake's DMs, like, poor guy. He's like, it's not that bad right now. But I don't know how it went. I think this is a good scorecard. Go ahead. What do you say?
I DM'd Drake as well. It's like I tweeted. You saw the tweet under you. It's like he's like the Chris Toyoni of scoring, and he's like, this is actually insulting. And then I DM'd him. I was like, sorry, Chris. I mean Drake.
Look at that. 73% of the public thought that Casey beat Aldrich in that fight. Only 21% thought that Aldrich beat Casey. I want to look at the Cape fight and see what people said. Actually, the fans.
I think the more
70. Come on, man. That was a terrible decision. I'm so tired of this. Can we just get some consistent judging? Like, I get it. It's subjective, but come on. Free wager. If you have 10-8 round, get a little 5K bump or something. Reinventing the bonus rules of drive action is great. Yeah, I agree completely. I don't see why they can't have a finishing bonus. Like 10,000 is nothing. You might get better fights. You might get guys taking chances if they're down too late. Yeah. Jose says, thoughts on Lewis versus Gone. I would watch the fight. I didn't mind the Lewis Overeem fight, but they obviously cut Overeem. What do you think of this? Do you think they do this fight, Gone and Lewis?
You watch the fight. You watch every fight, man.
Of course.
So, yeah, me too.
You're right. That was a stupid comment. By me. As far as Lewis being open, I think that's the question. Yeah, that's good. He wants to fight soon, I think. He said that, I only have a few years left. He's like 36, I think, maybe, Eryk?
Yeah.
He's getting up. He's not that old compared to most heavyweights, but he's 36, yeah. A lot of guys, like a lot of heavyweights actually start to peak now, Marcel, at age 36. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
What's this? Rosenstruck and Dawkins? I'm not sure what they're going to do with Yair because he's still a top 10 guy, but he looked like crap. I don't know what they do with him. What do you think? He looked really bad in that fight.
That wasn't a good fight of his. But at least he was honest about it.
Absolutely. I love when a guy takes responsibility. I mean, listen, the fight sucked, but he was like, it's better than him saying, I tried my best. Like, he's like, no, I didn't try my best. Like, I just didn't. I don't know what he was doing. Like, he just couldn't pull the trigger. That happens too. We've seen that happen many times in fights.
For sure.
Guy can't pull. Like, that's the thing, guys. You break down the fights, you do as much research as you can, but you never know what's really going on in these people's heads or what happened that day to them or whatever, right? Like something could have happened. Didn't sleep well, didn't fuel well, just wasn't there mentally clearly in that fight. A few more fights on this card, Marcel. Here's one I got wrong, and I'll fully admit I was wrong about this one. So was AJ, who's in the chat here. Gloria got taken down too much in this fight. And here's the thing. Not only did she get taken down, she made no attempt to get up. It was really sad to watch. It's just like her and her girlfriend, Myra Bueno, and I talked about their Muay Thai guys. Yeah, it's MMA. I should have known better. Not that I would have ever picked Fry here, but I guess I wouldn't have been as confident in Gloria. I shouldn't have been as confident knowing that she has been taken down in all of her losses now. That's clearly the biggest hole of her game. And Myra's game, too, as we saw against Montana. They got nasty Muay Thai, Marcel. We saw it in the second round. She's got good kicks, good range, but the takedown defense is terrible. What do you think of this fight?
Yeah, I was first 50-50 on this, and then I looked to her picture, and I was like, yeah, I'm convinced she's going to win. I'm just kidding.
He kept messaging me. He's like, oh, man, I like this girl.
Yeah.
I was like, Marcel, she's got a girlfriend. She's actually in the UFC. They're both going to kick your ass now. You know that, right?
Yeah, no problem. No, but, Frey did what she had to do, man. It was a very good game plan, I think. She took her down, and the Paula she couldn't handle that. She couldn't stop the takedown, and that was a big problem right there. So yeah, good win for Jinju Frey. And I mean, it's cool for her. You know, she fought for such a long time already. She's finally in the UFC. Lost her first 2 fights, and now she finally gets the win. So I'm really happy for her as well.
Yeah, again, that one's fully, a bad call by me. But there's some that, they hurt a little bit more. This was just a bad call because I knew she could get taken down. I just didn't think Fry would commit to that game plan because she never did before. But you obviously see the coaching with Saif, one of the best coaches right now in MMA for a while, actually. He's great coaching, and that really helped. I'm just really disappointed in De Paula and Bueno Silva because, Marcel, they don't stop takedowns, and they don't try to get back up when they're on the ground. They just sit in their back. You cannot win fights in the UFC, guys. We all know that. So it's just bad. It's just like she's gotten good Muay Thai, and they'll probably find some easy matchup for her against some striker, Marcel, but I don't know what to say about her. Like, she's got potential, but the lack of takedown defense is very concerning. I can't bet on her again. Where does the win put Gillespie in the lightweight division? He'd be never
on the same spot.
Isn't he 15? I think he literally is 15 right now. The rankings are weird.
On the same spot.
Kevin Lee's ranked above Iaquinta, even though Al Iaquinta's beat him twice. That doesn't really make sense to me. The rankings are weird. Let's talk about this one. This was the best call I made all night. Matthew Semmelsberger, I called this one by knockout. This is the best call I made all night. So let me give you some. I'm going to pat myself on the back for this one. Guys.
You only tweeted 6 times about it, but we had no idea.
I know. This one felt so good, dude. It felt so good because it happened so quick. Like if it's these fights that are sweats like Cape, it's tough, man. You're watching, you're like, please. But this one was like, I was like, oh my god, it was so easy. Listen, I like Jason Witt. He's a decent veteran, but look at the 5 knockout losses, Marcel. 2 in the UFC. Doesn't have much of a chin. And I told everyone, Matthew, watch this guy. This is the guy to watch here. He's got a lot of upside, Marcel. Long reach, knockout power. What do you think of this kid?
He looked good so far, man. Also, in his first fight, he looked good as well against Carlton Minus. But yeah, I mean, Carlton Minus, no disrespect, but I don't know.
I know.
So that's why I wasn't sure. And Jason Witt, he also won against that Cole guy. What's his name again? Cole Williams.
Cole. Yeah, Williams. Yeah, I was gonna say Cole. I almost said Cole.
Cole Williams, man. Cole Williams is like, also not that great, So it was a 50-50. And then you look at Jason Witt. He is at Glory MMA, right? Glory MMA and Fitness. So I was like, it's so hard to pick this one. So I went with Witt. Could have went with Semmelsberger, but I didn't have a good read on this one. And you obviously had. So good on you, man.
Thanks, but again, the bad read, it just canceled each other. It was basically like a break even. It was just disappointing, man, because it would have been a good night if Cape had won, but it is what it is again, I mean, anything else you want to talk about from this card? Overall, like, not the greatest card, but there were obviously some nasty knockouts. Anything else you want to talk about before we move on?
Nah, that's it, man. I don't have anything to say anymore.
We've officially moved on from UFC Vegas 21, guys. Seriously, I'm so busy these days that I cannot afford to even think about these cards past Monday anymore. You know what I mean? Like my head's gone already. I'm already on the next card. So that's it for that card. But I'll take this question about Zabit. He's not fought in the last 60 months. Dude, it's crazy, right? He hasn't fought since November 2019, I believe, when he fought Calvin Kattar. I feel like Calvin Kattar got more momentum now, even despite the loss to Holloway. Zabit, I guess they're waiting for Yair. They must be waiting for the fight, right? Like,
it's just annoying, man. I mean, it's been canceled now 2 or 3 times already. Let it go.
Yeah,
let him fight someone else.
Dude, I want to see Zabit fight for the belt. Quite frankly, like, I think he's in the same. He's becoming Leon Edwards of 145. He really is. Now, if he has a no contest in his next fight, that'll really be the Leon Edwards of 145. But there are 2 guys that should be fighting for the belt. They look like they're ready for the title. Every time I see Zabit fight, I'm like, this guy obviously should be fighting for the belt, but you can't give him the title shot off that long layoff, I don't think. Maybe they do give him the winner, though, of Ortega and Volk. Maybe that's the plan, because that fight's in next week, right? So,
yeah.
And Jorge says, I think Ali doesn't want to be anywhere near Holloway unless it's for a belt. Yes, Max is he's a beast, but there's got to be a fight for like even Korean Zombie. Like, isn't that? I mean, Dan Ige called him out, but they could do that fight. Korean Zombie called out Zabit. He's like, I want it, like, months ago. It's weird.
I like Dan Ige against Zabit as well, but I don't think management likes it.
I don't think Ali will do that fight, Marcel. No. I don't think he's going to book that one. Okay, let's talk about a few other things here. You mentioned Billy Quarantillo earlier. We interviewed him last. I interviewed him on Friday. We're talking about betting, right? And then all of a sudden he goes like, "Oh, I was at Aljamain's party in Vegas because my boy Matt Frivola, they're both from Tampa. Yeah. That's Aljamain's boy, so he was invited to the party." And I don't know if you saw the interview. He was talking about what happened there, and he basically said, Aljamain, they were just watching the fight. They were surprised what happened. He came home. He just wanted to chill and watch the fight again. He just wanted to break the fight down. But everyone else was apparently the one saying, "Hey, take some pictures. You deserve this, man. You've earned it." Like, it was other people like Merab, and he didn't say Merab by name, but we saw the photos Merab posted. So now today we're seeing Aljo with pictures posting now. Finally, he's posted the picture with the belt because he really hasn't until now. But now he is. So I feel like it's a week later. But at the time, Marcel, I believe Billy. I believe him. I don't necessarily think Aljo really felt like he won the belt, but I do think there was some peer pressure there. Like, hey man, you got the belt, take some pictures, throw it on Instagram and stuff. Like, but again, what Billy said was like, he's like, Aljo didn't want to party. He just wanted to watch the fight. He was basically pissed off what happened. And he wanted to get better and learn and win the next fight. So I don't know what your thoughts on that whole situation are.
I saw a clip where Aljo had the belt over his shoulder, and he was like, "I wouldn't put it away." And then a friend of him said, "Say it, you are the world champion." And he's like, "No, say it, you are the world champion." He's like, "I'm the world champion." Everybody's cheering. So
yeah, there was definitely some peer pressure, and we all know how that feels, and we've all been in that situation before. So it's tough. I feel like now he's become the victim finally because he really should have been the whole time. He's the one who got kneed in the head. It is that whole situation's a mess. But now he's saying he wants to run it back with Peter. I saw his tweet today. Coincidentally, after Cejudo, I've heard pulled out of the USADA pool. I don't know. I can't get confirmation on that. There was a report the other. Did you hear about that? There was a report.
I saw that as well.
I don't know if that. I don't know that website. I don't know those guys. Like, I don't know if it's real. Like I looked on USADA's website. He's still listed, so I'm not sure. I did hear that though.
I don't know who posted it either. So
you got to watch the fake news, guys. I mean, I'm obviously very aware of that in my job, so everyone's got to watch that. But some of the stuff that gets retweeted on my timeline, you have to look through it a little closer. Not seem a little weird to me. Let's go to your page and let's do some fight announcements, okay?
Yeah.
A few more minutes. Anyone has questions, throw them out here, guys. Take them. Talk about a few fights. This is a good one. This one's a good one, Marcel. It's a good one. This is a good one, guys. It's a good one. Fight of the night. Fight of the fucking night. Fight of the year. I mean, this is going to be sick. Love this fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm like, do you really want to see Tony Ferguson fight after he lost to Gaethje and Oliveira? And then at the same time, I'm like, he probably asked for this fight. So, I mean, great fight. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I mean, it's kind of shocking to see how Ferguson looks compared before his Gaethje fight, after his Gaethje fight, man. He looks like 10 years older or something, man. Yeah. I don't know what's up with that. But, this is a fun fight, man. I mean, Dariush looks so good. Dariush finally also, in the last 2 years, developing a stand-up game a lot as well. He's a good ground fighter, but the stand-up game is coming together as well right now. So, this is a fun matchup, and it's I think for Tony Ferguson is a make or break fight, and for Dariush, if he wins this one, he's probably in the top 5.
I love this fight, guys. It's a great fight. Next one. So I posted the article on this. It's great matchmaking because they're both coming off a submission win over Mike Rodriguez, and they both beat Khadis Ibrahimov via decision in the fight before that. This has got to be the first time ever in UFC history that two guys have been paired off coming off exactly the same method and wins in their last 2 fights. It's the same people. That's crazy. I like this fight. What do you think?
Yeah, me too. Although we should have had an asterisk for Herman for that win over Marques.
Chris Tione, right? Chris Tione.
Who?
Was it Chris Tione was the ref in that one?
Yeah, I just want to say his name again in a bad manner. So Chris Tione was definitely the ref in that one.
Yo, this looks like the Bellator logo, on his his chest.
It actually does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It really looks like. Anyways, I like this fight. I mean, Ed Herman is one of my all-time favorites. I love short fuse, man. I mean, tough guy. And Danilo, he looked pretty good in his last fight. Who was he against? Rodriguez, right? So he looked good. Yeah. Interesting fight. I mean, he's actually a little bit older than I thought. He's 36, so he's a little bit older because you get to the UFC late. But Ed is 40.
Shogun's training partner, right?
Is he? I didn't know that. That's awesome. See, I haven't digged really deep into this one yet. I completely forgot that he was King's MMA guy, huh? That's great. So another guy at that gym. here's the other fight that what's his name? Jose was asking us about these fights. Here you go, Jose. Listen, the Tafa. A lot of people thought he beat Felipe Bandera. I mean, this is a different matchup though. The thing is, they're going to stay standing probably in this fight. I don't know. I mean, Bandera to me has got so many holes in his game, but Tafa's not a great fighter either. I don't know. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I'm not really big on Vandera, and I think Tafa has that one-punch knockout power. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think, you don't want to give me my pick, but
it's too far out. It's May 22nd. But yeah, I know.
Pretty obvious. Yeah.
Shan, this we're gonna talk about this fight tomorrow. I'm not gonna even go into it. Yusuf Zalal, Sean Woodson. Look at this. This guy's got like a condominium complex like on his chest. What kind of tattoo is that? That Mr. Ready. Is that what it says Mr. Ready? Born Ready. Anyways, this dude, I don't understand this guy's body type because he's like 6'3" or something, but he weighs like 145. And we saw in his last fight, he got hit to the body by a roast and finished, right? Like his body's weak. Zalal should win this fight, right?
Yeah. Woodson is like the long lost little brother of Eric Spicely.
Dude, he really does look like him, eh? Like he really does. Yeah. I just think this guy's not that great. I mean, he did have a nice win on Contender Series. I think it was this guy McKinney, I believe it was. He hit a flying knee. Flying knee knockout was nice, but I think Zalal's just more solid. Maybe I got to look more into Woodson, but that last fight at the roast, the way he lost was very disappointing. I like this fight. People are laughing at this one. They're like, why is Alir in the UFC? Alir is a good fighter, man. He should have beat Derek Lewis probably. Like a lot of people thought he won that fight, Marcel. So takes on Boser here. You got probably two of the smaller heavyweights. They're not that tall or really that heavy. I think they're both about like the 240 range or something. But what do you think here? What do you think of this fight?
You should ask Tanner Boser if he has plans to cut down to 205.
I thought he should have before, but he wants to be a fast heavyweight. He wants to be that speed heavyweight. I don't know about that though. What do you think?
I mean, if Latifi can do his takedowns and keep pressuring him like he tried to do with Lewis, he probably can win this fight. Boser, I was really not impressed with Boser against Arlovski, man. Although I think he might have won that fight, it was close, but I expected more, man. I expected from Boser what I see from Kyle Dawkins, for example. But
Chris Dawkins.
Sorry, Chris. Kyle is the middleweight, right?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And this fight, it's a close fight. What else we got? Faraz Ziam versus Luigi Vendramini. He's coming off a great win, I think, right? Who was it against? Justin Iari, right? Knocked him out. And then this guy's coming off this terrible decision against Jamie Malarkey. Like a lot of people thought it was a bad robbery kind of decision. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I got to look into this more. But Luigi obviously has the knockout power, as we know. Christos Gallows, Joe Alvarez. I like this Alvarez guy, man. I like him, Marcel. He's good. He's underrated.
He's fun to watch, yeah.
When I was in Brazil 2 years ago, there's a Spanish guy, this guy Albert Fernandez. I don't know if you know him. He's a Spanish MMA reporter. I can't remember what the station is, but he told me, I think I was telling you a few weeks ago, he's like, bro, Juan Espino and Joel Alvarez, these are the next big things in the UFC. This was 2 years ago. Juan's like 45 years old or something now, but I don't know where he doesn't fight that often. I like Juan, but this guy Alvarez, that fight with Joe Duffy, man, finishing him the way he did. This guy's impressive, Marcel. And Diago's, God bless this guy because I'm Greek, he's Greek. He's a bowler, I'm a bowler. So I should pick him, but this guy, I always pick against him. I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't think he's a great fighter. What do you think?
Yeah, it's an amazing fight, man. I mean, every time I see Joel Alvarez, I'm like, where the hell is Damir Esmagulov gone? So
I know, right?
Yeah, I hope
I like Damir. I really like Damir, man.
Me too. So this is a fun fight, man. It's good for Alvarez to see where he's at in the division. Diagos is actually a tough veteran, so I'm looking forward to this fight. It's a fun style matchup.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think we talked about this one last week, I believe. Julian Rosa Sungwoo Choi, and then this is actually tomorrow. This guy is incredible, by the way. He's a plus 500 underdog tomorrow. I'm not saying he wins this fight, guys, but I really liked what I saw from Jesse Strader. Let's show a fight from him. I'm going to show you guys a fight here that I watched today because this is unbelievable. I posted it on my Twitter. Watch this one, Marcel. Let me close this window. I like this Jesse Strader guy, though, man. I'm telling you, I just watched John's interview with him. One sec. Watch this, guys. Watch this conversation. Oh, gotta share the screen. So again, YouTube's got tons of videos. You gotta watch it. And here we go. Watch this finish. Watch this finish, Marcel. Look at this combination. Look at this. Like, unbelievable power. Unbelievable power in this guy. I'm really impressed by Jesse Strader, guys. I watched all his fights today. He looks awesome. He looks awesome, and he's a plus 500 underdog. It's tough because Marcel, he took the fight on such short notice here, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't know who I'm going to pick, but I'm I gotta be honest, I'm tempted to throw a little bit of money on this guy because I think he might win the fight, honestly. Just watched John's interview. He talked about how, you know, he didn't fight last year, but he had like 3 fights fall apart due to COVID. Like he's been training the whole time. This guy's in amazing shape. For some reason, people haven't picked up on it. Montel Jackson, is minus. Well, the line went down a little bit now after I posted the video. Someone's been watching. It was minus 700. Now he's minus 650. But Jesse Strader is still almost a plus 500 underdog. Marcel. These guys from Kabachi are quite good. Marcel, Rojo, Castaneda. This guy Strader. That promotion's underrated. I think they got some good talent coming up. So we'll talk about that fight tomorrow, guys. I just wanted to show you though, like this guy is actually pretty talented, man. And again, watching his interview with John, and I watched another interview today with him, 2 interviews, and saying all the right things. I liked everything I heard. We'll see. I mean, he might just get wrestled in this fight. It definitely could happen. I could definitely see that happening. But I think the fight's closer than the odds indicate. There's no way I don't think Montel should be minus 650, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. I'll talk about tomorrow with you, Marcel. I haven't finished on my tape study, but I'll get it done by tomorrow. This is a great comment. He says, I think the biggest issue in MMA judging is the length of the rounds. Too much gap over 5 minutes. They score minute by minute. The winners who won more minutes. Dude, it's a great point because, yes, Nicolau did well for those first couple minutes. The problem was I just think the damage in the last few minutes really overtook what he did in the first few minutes. But you're right. And this is why, pride rules don't necessarily work because they always forgot what happened in the first round, Marcel. They only forgot about they always forgot about the 10-minute first round. They would only just score the last 2 5-minute rounds, right? And bring back the 10-minute first round, man. Bring it back and bring back the knees to the down opponents and the stomps and everything.
You know, when I was at a local event over here, they had I sat next to a judge, and he was like he had 1 click in his left hand and 1 click in his right hand, and every time somebody did something, he did click, 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 click. Something with a kick or a punch or something, or just click, 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 click. And at the end of the round, he looked who had the most clicks, and he scored for that guy.
That's really weird. That's not good. That's not a good way to score fights. I know they have like the stats counters guys are counting the strikes landed that do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have a button they're pressing it whenever someone throws a strike. I get that, but for a judge to do that,
That was a judge.
In Holland.
yeah.
Or MMA or kickboxing.
Both.
What's it? Let's get this. Listen,
combination event.
Last question of the day, guys. It's 5 o'clock now. We're gonna get out of here. It's actually 10 o'clock for Marcel. I appreciate it, Marcel. It says, what's next for Charles Oliveira? Justin Chandler, Dustin Connor looks to be next. Yeah, I saw the Justin Chandler report today. Dustin Connor, we know about. Man, they're gonna screw Charles Oliveira, man. That's gonna suck. What do you think, Marcel? What are you hearing here?
Yeah, they're probably gonna say we offered you already 2 fights this year
against Chandler, right? Short notice.
Yeah. And you didn't take it, so
I think you called that when it happened. You said you were the guy who was like, they're going to hold it against him. Just watch. They're going to. Yeah. Remember, Dana was like, "Oh, it's not a big deal. Like it's on short notice. He just cut weight." A month later, Charles should have taken the fight when we asked him. Like he's going to say that now. Mm-hmm. We'll see. I think that's it for today's show, though, guys. Again, it's 5 p.m. right now. It's a little different now doing it in the afternoon. I got to be honest. It's kind of different, but I'm definitely down to keep doing this with you, Marcel. And tomorrow we'll be back at 10 a.m. or excuse me, 4 p.m. See, I'm already mixing it up. 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And we'll do the full breakdown. Maybe I'll pick Jesse Strader as a plus 500 underdog. Let's see if I go on a limb here. I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking about it. I'm going to look crazy if he gets smashed. Like he might look like an idiot. But yeah, I like what I saw from that guy. Plug your stuff, Marcel?
Yeah, Big Marcel24 on Instagram and Twitter, and MMA DNA also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
There's this guy. Look at it. He's everywhere. You got your own YouTube page? I didn't even know that. Awesome. Good stuff. You guys can follow me on Twitter at MMAOB and the podcast, 4 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Tuesday with Marcel, Thursday with a guest to be announced very soon. I'll have some artwork for that too very soon. We do have new artwork. I got to give my sister a big shout out here. She's awesome. Love Helen. She's great. Dude, she stepped up on like 12 hours notice and did this for us. Like, we had someone else that took 2 weeks and didn't send us anything, and then my sister stepped up on 12 hours notice and got this done. I think it looks great. So, gotta give her credit for that one. It's nice to get some new artwork, Marcel, and then it's a new show, man. Me and you now, and Cole's not here anymore. It's unfortunate. I love doing it with Cole, obviously, but love doing it with you too, Marcel. Thanks again, man. Follow me on Twitter, guys. bjpen.com, MMAOddsbreaker.com, Elite Fantasy, Elite Betting, My MMA News, and Fanatics MMA. Have a great day, guys. Be back 4 p.m. tomorrow.